Welcome to the Prophecy Club. Our topic today is food shortage. Sad to say, I've got a lot of information on a food shortage coming to America, and I'm about to show you why a lot of people say it's about to come the last half of this year. Anyway, first of all, the obvious solution is prayer. So we've called a solemn September assembly for Prophecy Club, and anybody in America that is willing to join us. It's going to be starting Saturday morning at 9:30. Then the shofars blow at 10:32 a.m. Saturday, September the 24th, because that's the Feast of Trumpets. That's the day that Jesus returns. Blowing a shofar is a declaration of war, and that's what we're doing. We're declaring war after the evil in this nation. And then it'll conclude at 9 o'clock. Now, you can watch it for free by going to prophecyclub.com. Or, if you'd like to pray, you can have up to 100 people standing in line, so to speak, but you have to join to be a panelist. In order to do that, you have to register with your name and your email, and all of that is explained at prophecyclub.com. Prophecyclub.com, September 24th. Brothers and sisters, our nation needs us. Our nation needs us to fast and pray, and that's what we're going to do. We're going to fast from 9:30 in the morning until 9 at night, while we fast and pray for our nation. Now, while you're there, if you'd like to join Fast Track, that's where you're agreeing to fast and pray for Prophecy Club. If you want to join Fast Gap, then you pray for the nation. Now, here's the way it works. Each Tuesday evening, I send you an email directly from me to you with all of the typos on it and everything. And I say, this is the prayer that everyone's going to be praying. This is the fast that we're going to be doing. Typically, it's an easy fast from Tuesday evening at midnight until Wednesday afternoon at 4 p.m. And it's a short prayer that typically takes under 60 seconds. And my promise to you is I never, ever ask for donations, nor do I send product offers. This is only for people that want to fast and pray for Prophecy Club or fast and pray for our nation. prophecyclub.com. Okay, so Terry Saka, why should people call cornerstoneassetmetals.com today?
Well, we've had large developments. We all do know about the war with Ukraine and Russia, but what's happening in Europe, beyond the fact that they have food rationing, energy rationing, and the Rhine River, which is the heartland of the industrial world of Europe, is now drying up to the point where the barges can no longer go through. And now the announcement just yesterday that Russia was going to eliminate all Nord Stream energy flows to Europe is huge. So what that's doing is it's making the euro currency crash way below parity, making the dollar really strong, which is giving you a tremendous buying opportunity because gold and silver is very cheap. But don't be fooled. It won't last long.
CornerstoneAssetMetals.com. Call them, start some dialogue, open an account, and get yourself prepared for what is coming. This came to us from a midnightcry.com. It says it'll start in the second half of 2022. That's the big question. We know a lot of bad things are coming. What we don't know is when they start. But I'll tell you what, a lot of people are saying, I heard some, and I don't have it on this one, maybe I'll get it one of the future ones here, but another article said by the end of October or by Halloween that our world is going to change. Another one said that they're expecting big things to come in September. But here, let's look at what we got right now. I woke to a dream that I've had in the past. I saw a beautiful sky, white clouds all over. Suddenly, the sky went black. Massive pandemonium, chaos, mayhem, and dead bodies, blood all over. I heard the words, it will begin the second half of 2022. Now, when someone says they hear an audible voice in a dream like that, in my opinion, that gives it a lot of credibility. The very next day, I got the exact same dream, plus one. It will happen. It will begin the second half of 2022. Again, he heard the same words. In the second dream, I saw a young man delivering newspapers. They left the newspapers in bags, and the paper boy would deliver them door to door. But instead of a newspaper, he pulled out a machine gun and started killing people. It was representing civil war. The young man delivering the good news of the newspapers and the media now turned on his own country people. Then December 30th of 2021, the Lord gave me the same dream that he'd given me on the 26th and 27th. That means this is the third time. Beautiful sky, clouds, then it flips, goes black, mayhem, pandemonium, dead bodies. It begins the second half of 2022. That's 3 times here the same sentence. My opinion, we best set up and bend our ears forward. We better listen to this one. God has been very patient with us all day long. He's been stretching forth his hand to stubborn and rebellious Americans, people saying that this is the way, walk ye in it, but America would not. The United States Department of Agriculture is intentionally creating a food shortage, says HalTurnerRadioShow.com. He says they're sending destruction letters to American farmers, telling them that they have X number of days to destroy their crops in the ground, for which they will then be paid 1.5 times the crop value, or face losing farm subsidies, which will bankrupt the farm. Now, I first put this out in August 2021. Shortly after I put this out, here come several emails attacking me. This is bunk. This is garbage. This is some kind of raw footage or something. This is not true. So I put it out and I said, look, I've got some other people saying this is not true. I had several people email me the letters. They said, yes, it is true. I mean, not everybody got the letter, but it is true. Now, why would they be doing this? Because evil people in high places are trying to bring in a new world order, a world government, where they make their man, the Antichrist, sit on the throne, where he sitteth in the temple of God, showing himself that he is God. And they know that the police officer standing between them and get their man on the throne is America. So their target is to take down America. That's the only way they're going to get their plan done. So that's what they're trying to do. It's not enough. Buy more food. David Phillips had this dream. I recalled being surprised at the time because I thought I'd already purchased some food, but apparently it wasn't enough. So I was thinking about the dream while driving and gathering other preparations. Next, I had another dream within the dream that Stan called me and said he had to drive all over the state and to another state on the same day, something having to do with money. He was busy with another teammate sending out the largest check he'd ever written to buy food. See, Henry Kissinger says, he who controls food controls the people. He who controls the energy can control whole continents. But he who controls money can control the world, so that no man might buy or sell save he had the mark of the name of the beast or the number of his name. This vision came to Byron Surley, and it's scary. He says, in this vision, the radio talk show host became very serious in his tone and stated that it was being reported that several large cities were in lockdown. Sounds familiar, doesn't it? People were being ordered to stay inside their homes or apartments. I saw what looked like a riot taking place, parking lots jam-packed with people, vehicles, car doors left wide open. Yeah, I know part of that sounds like it's in the past, but I think it's in the future. Car doors left open wide, people all over wildly running about. I watched people running as fast as they could in almost every direction, screaming and shouting hysterically. I was observing complete and utter chaos and hysteria. Not one person was calm. All were running about yelling, screaming, and crying. I asked, what's going on? The local National Guard were planning martial law, ordering, advising everyone would have to stay in their homes. He told me that nearly all of the store shelves were empty of food. I'll say that again. Nearly all of the store shelves were empty of food. We've never seen that in America, but I have about 14 different people that have had dreams all in the last 12 months, all saying there's about to be a massive food shortage. Now, you can believe the word of God when it says in the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses, let a thing be established, or you can say, bah humbug, and you'll be one of those people in this dream. He told me that nearly all of the store shelves were empty of food, water, other goods. He said that the people in the stores were acting like crazed, rabid animals, throwing cans of food at each other and stealing each other's carts. I went in and it was complete chaos, wild fighting. People at the checkout lines yelling, screaming, cashiers, because their debit and credit cards were not working in the machines, which, by the way, that's another good reason you want to think about calling CornerstoneAssetMetals.com. Get yourself a handful of gold and a handful of silver coins so that if that happens to you, even though they're not taking cash or they're maybe not taking credit cards or the banks are shut down, you pull out a silver coin or two and you'll get something. Not working machines, and they had no cash. People get to bypass the register and just run out of the stores without paying for the food in their carts. I saw people attacking people who were running out of the food. Waiting mobs of people grabbed and beat the people who were leaving the store with the food, taking all of the food and leaving the people injured and lying on the ground. Shelves were emptied in minutes, like a pack of ravenous wolves or frenzied sharks fighting over food. It was unbelievable to watch this take place. Everything in the store was totally destroyed. The doors were pulled off refrigerators, freezer sections and broken through all over the floor. Shelving units were pushed over, knocked down, broken up. There was no food left at all anywhere in any of the shelves. Everything was totally gone, completely wiped out. People had begun running back to the back stock room in search of more food, as the store was now cleared out. They began tearing down all of the boxes and pallets of parts looking for food. Many of the boxes contained paper goods and cleaning supplies, but all that was just thrown aside since people were in a mad frenzy looking for food. I saw them find and take pet food because it was still food. They acted like they hit the jackpot when they got dog food. I saw some people from local churches with terrified looks on their faces, crying because they were too late and there was nothing left. I asked, why didn't you prepare for this? After all, many watchmen have been warning you for years this was to come. Well, I thought we wouldn't be gone before any of this happened. I should have listened. People were fighting over what little remained. We began to hear gunshots. Bullets began flying everywhere. People were being hit. No one came in to their aid. There was left on the floor bleeding and injured or dying. Other people were taking food items from the people who had been shot, and they were running out of the store. The clerks had all run away for fear of their lives. People were taking anything that was not tied down that they could carry out. Walmart, a war zone with gun battles in the store and parking lot. People were dead and dying. I saw people run to TJ Maxx and the dollar store, to their small food sections. People even ran into the movie theater and were fighting over the popcorn and the candy. It seemed as if in 1 hour, everything had gone from normal to complete and utter chaos instantly. I was then reminded by the Lord that He had told me many times over the past several years that this would be the case, that life as we knew it would change. Here it is. Listen carefully. Listen to the word, suddenly. The prophecies of the dollar dying, of these kind of things come, none of them have any kind of a gradual thing. There's no warning. There's no gradual slowdown. There's no gradual drop down for a person to prepare. All of them say it's instant, it's overnight, it's over a weekend. I knew it would change suddenly and that most were not prepared. I saw National Guard vehicles arriving. They quickly swooped in and shot anyone who was seen holding a weapon. The clampdown had begun, and no one would be allowed on the street. Everyone must stay inside or be shot. So here's the question. So the National Guard does come out, tell everybody they have to stay in their homes, and let's say it lasts for 3 months. Do you have 3 months' worth of food and water in your house? Let's say that it's not safe to go outside of your house. Let's say there's another bug going around. Or let's say there's war out there. For whatever reason, do you have the wherewithal to stay within the 4 walls of your house for 3 months, 6 months, maybe a year? Joseph's Kitchen can show you how to do that. As the vision ended, I heard the Lord say, why have you not prepared? Now let's jump to Sandy Steinbook. She says, I'm not a prophetic person. I don't get dreams. I'm just a normal person, a normal life. I have a husband, dog, family. I enjoy my life. I don't know why I received these dreams. Now, let me just say something. Remember, the Bible says, in the last days, God is going to pour out His Spirit on all flesh. Your old men are going to dream dreams. Your young men are going to see visions. In the last days, just before great trouble comes, God is going to warn His people. And that's exactly what He's doing. In the last year, I have got 14 different dreams from all kinds of people sent to me. Just like this one. She said, I'm not prophetic. I'm nothing special. Yet, here's what God showed me. I walked into a Walmart, and all the grocery shelves were bare everywhere. I walked through several sections. There was no food, and I mean there was no food at all there. There were cleaning supplies, mobs hanging out, but no food. All the food in the grocery section was gone. I was in disbelief because I couldn't believe it. In America, all the food was gone from Walmart that fast. There it is again, fast. That's what I keep feeling. I can't believe the food went that fast from Walmart. It was just gone so fast. There was nothing else left. It was so vivid in my mind, I just believe God gives us warnings through dreams. Well, the Bible says another scripture that says, in the night I will speak to my people as to what they must do. I can tell you several other examples. That is how God speaks to his people in these last days, warning them. If they can recognize his voice, if they can recognize, and they will move and get on to making decisions and get it done. So now, I want you to notice the date here, July the 10th of 2020. And I've had several people email me specifically about this and several of these other dreams. They came in 2020, and we all, of course, thought that they were talking about 2020. But I'm going to show you two reasons why I believe that this is not speaking of 2020, but may, in fact, be speaking of 2022. So it says, I saw a calendar turn to the month of September, as in now. It may be talking about now. A hand then reached up and pulled the month of September off the bound calendar and placed it on the ground in front of the altar in our secret prayer room. I saw the altar, the horns on the altar, and the pictures of the second coming and healing on the wall. I was instructed to stand on the month and pray for the church to have a strong backbone. That's one, strong backbone. For corruption in the church to be exposed, 2, and for a great harvest in the coming months, 3. Now, 3 things were associated with this. Church have a strong backbone. Well, we church need that because typical Christian, we don't want to have, we're avoiders. We avoid confrontations. We don't want to have any kind of trouble. We just want everybody to kind of get along. Can't we all be happy? That's our attitude. But in this case, God is asking us, warning us, that we better be praying harshly and fiercely against the evil in our nation. Right now, we got to have a strong backbone. 2, that corruption in the church must be exposed. Why? Because the more sin is in the church, the more weakness is in the church. If we can get the sin out, then the miracles will return. And the church will grow again, and there will be salvations, miracles, and healings. That's the 3rd thing. We have not seen a great harvest. Now think about this. Have you seen sports stadiums filled with people? No, I haven't. I haven't seen the churches fill up. I haven't seen anybody, large groups of people get saved anywhere, nor have I heard of it. So I don't think this is talking about 2020. It came in 2020, but I think it's talking about definitely in the future, possibly this month. Now, I want to skip the rest of it because I just read this the other day. But the point I'm trying to make is this may be talking about this year. The only other point I want to make to you is here. Well, he says that the angel spoke to him and said, you need to have a solemn September assembly. We did. In September of 2020. We also had it again September 2021, and we're going to have it again September 2022, specifically September 24th. Go to prophecyclub.com for the details. But here's the other thing I wanted to point out. I also saw fires around the country and in the country, fires of revival. Again, I haven't seen fires of revival. So that tells me this prophecy was not for 2020 or 2021. And several things say it may very well be for 2022. We may be about to see this. Let's go on. And I'm going to skip this too. You can pause and read it if you want to. I just covered it the other day. Prophet John Paul Jackson was shown many headlines. I'm going to show you a few concerning food. Food prices lead nations escalating inflation woes. Blight in grains spreading. Drought continues to cause prayer to rise. Record high temps accompany record drought sweep south. Well, we're in drought. We're having all kinds of these problems right now. Demand for classic seeds skyrocket. So these kind of things may be upon us. I'll go on. Exposed. Chinese Communist Party seizing control of American food supply with massive food processing plants in the United States. This is to go along with the globalist-controlled U.S. government intentionally destroying our food supply, like the other article talked about. The largest single private capital investment in the region's history, city officials approved tax breaks. It says that the future plant will be a wet corn milling facility, fully operational by 2024 or 2025. They produce corn, gluten meal, corn, gluten feed, lysine, theorine, animal feed products. Okay, so what is China over here making food? Are they making food for here to ship to China, or are they simply taking over our food processing plants? I don't think they have our best interest in mind. And I'm going to let you read that, but I'm going to go on here. We got lots to cover. Bill Gates becomes largest owner of farmland in the United States. Food shortages for humanity announced. Now, I'd never met Bill Gates. Maybe he's a nice guy, but everything I've read about him is not so good. And I do not think he is buying up farmland to make certain that it is producing the very most food possible. My suspicion is that he's buying up farmland so that he can control it, so he can cut it off because he's in with the globalist guys. So I don't think that's good. Now, I'm going to cover 17 food destructions. Sad to say, the count is actually up to 100 and about 115 now. These are over a process of time. I'm going to read them quickly, just the headlines. Massive fire at Salinas food processing plant contained. Evacuations lifted. Ezra headquarters destroyed by fire, no injuries. 5,000 pounds of food destroyed after fire ripped through Maricopa food pantry. All of these in the last 12 months. Fertilizer plant causes evacuations in western Kansas. Fire crews respond to a fire inside grain elevator. Belfast's crime facility destroyed by fire. Investigators find cause. Cause of massive fire, Walmart, a distribution center, could take weeks to determine. Portion of Wisconsin River meats plant, a total loss in overnight blaze. Now, here's the thing. How many arrests do you think have taken place with these some 110 strange fires, or a bunch of turkeys or chickens or cows or something like that mysteriously dying all in a day or two? The answer is, I haven't investigated, I can't prove this, but my guess is 0. Why? I think that they're using high technology, scalar wave, that can destroy anything in the air, on the ground, on the sea, under the sea, any place on the globe, anytime it wants to. They can start fires with it, like out in western United States. They can cause large amounts of the atmosphere to get super hot or super cold, and surprisingly, it takes very little energy to do this. That can cause like tornadoes, hurricanes. They can cause floods, droughts. All of this is super high technology, by the way, invented by Nikola Tesla. My guess is all of these, several workers injured, explosion at Oregon Shears Foods plant, this is their plan to destroy America. Benjamin Fulford was told, "We've been ruling this planet for thousands of years and we'll destroy it rather than give it up." Well, right now, the good guys are trying to come back, and they're trying to take this nation back. There's a big battle, a battle in the spirit and the battle in the flesh for this nation, because whoever controls America controls the world. They know that. So they're trying to take down America so they can put their man on the throne, the Antichrist. That's what this is all about. Commercial building fire in South El Paso sparks demand for residents. And there's a lot of this stuff going on. Firefighters work over 12 hours putting out Lecompton feed mill fire. Multiple alarm fire and food processing operation on Hamilton Mountain. One hurt in boiler explosion in Mississippi poultry feed mill. Fire disrupt processing at a JBS plant in Grand Island, Nebraska. 110 of them. Actually, probably count is up to 115 now. How do you explain that? 115 different plants, from fertilizer plants, turkey, chickens, cows. All of them had to do with the food. All of them in the last 12 months. 2-alarm fire and shut down Northeast San Antonio food processing plant. I got a lot of them. Fire burns at dried milk plant. Remember the food shortage, the baby milk formula shortage? Not an accident. Not an accident. We have evil people in high places that are trying to destroy our nation. Why? Because they want to put their man on the throne. Most important news says the death toll rises to over 12 million chickens and turkeys in the second month of America's horrific bird flu pandemic. Killing turkeys, killing chickens, killing our food. 570,000 chickens set to be destroyed in an effort to contain a bird flu. Nearly 17 million dead. Look, how does the bird flu spread? Well, all they got to do is put some kind of a bird flu in a vial and an aerosol, and then fly it over these places in some kind of a drone, for $100, and they get all the chickens dead. I mean, I can figure that out pretty easy. I don't know that that's what they did, but I know that that's what they could do. I don't know. When there's no food, there's no peace. America's time of plenty is ending, and the casualties will be catastrophic. These are pictures from a guy that just travels America. He takes these pictures, sends them out to different ministries when he sees these empty food shelves in America. And I have to say, I've been to some of my local stores. I've seen some of this. And my guess is you've seen it where you live too. So I recommend you go to prophecyclub.com, get signed up for watch the Solemn September Assembly on September 24th, 2022. And I also recommend you get registered so you can be in the prayer line. The limit is up to 5 minutes on the prayer, and we plan to keep that microphone going from 9:30 in the morning to 9 at night. Saturday, September 24th, prophecyclub.com. Let's talk about Joseph's Kitchen. I actually cooked this loaf of bread you're seeing here. Takes me about 10 minutes to put the ingredients together, put it into a bread machine, push a button, 2 hours, 20 minutes later, I get a loaf of bread out like that. Now, if you cut that loaf of bread that weighs about 3 pounds, the loaves you get in the store have most of the good stuff removed. The loaves you get in the store are about 1 pound. That's 3 pounds because it's got the good stuff still in it. Cut that into 14 slices, and if I eat a slice in the morning and the afternoon, I'm satisfied. So on that basis, one loaf can sustain, I didn't say it's everything we want, can sustain one person for a week. Based upon that, it'll get you excellent nutrition. It tastes good, long storage life, 10 minutes to combine the ingredients, 2 hours, 20 minutes to make it. Other wheat that you order arrives in paper bags, which means bugs, rice, humidity can get a hold of it and ruin it. But at Joseph's Kitchen, they send it out in 100 mil thick buckets. Gives you long shelf life. It's stackable. It's nitrogen infuses that hopefully gives it much longer shelf life, kills bugs and things like that. Easily resealable, keep in a climate-controlled area. And they have it in stock. This is a picture, an actual picture of part of the warehouse. Here's another picture of these. Actually, each one of those boxes holds 2,500 pounds of wheat. And I think they've got 54 of those boxes, a bunch of them. So Joseph's Kitchen can ship it to you right now. You go to most of these places, they say out of stock. So here's what you want to do. Everybody needs to get a machine package. These are the things that you need to grind the wheat berries. Put them into a grinder. 30 seconds later, you have flour. You put that into the bread machine along with 6 other ingredients. Push a button. 2 hours, 20 minutes later, you have a nice hot loaf of whole wheat bread. Then you have to decide how much food you want. You want food 2 people 1 year, 4 people 1 year, 6 people 1 year. And if you want to make certain you have it when the electricity goes down, you can also get yourself a solar generator, all at josephskitchen.com. josephskitchen.com.